Surprise, you have labeled your last sentences for this year. So, what we did yesterday was going to be the last sentence labeling that we're going to do. Yay! And we're going to do a couple of fun writing activities the next few days. So, the first one is a poem, and the description of this poem is in your book, this white book, on page 40. And this is exercise 4 on that page. And it tells you exactly what you're supposed to write on each line. So don't make up your own thing. We are writing poems, but this is the specific way I'm asking you to write it. On line 1, you're going to pick one noun, which is going to be your topic. So it can be a person, it can be a place, it can be a thing, it can be an idea, okay? Or something like reading. Reading can be a noun, even though it's something you do. This category of a thing is reading. I need to get my reading done. It's a noun in that way. So you can choose something like that. You can choose a sport. You can choose something that you like to do. You can say cooking, football, basketball, any of your interests, something that you have something to talk about, or it can be a person. Okay, line 2. This is where you're going to write 2 adjectives that describe that noun. So these have to be words that describe a noun. Pretty, ugly. Okay, and I will, in the email this morning, I sent you some ideas of adjectives and some adverbs that might help you with this. Then line 3, you're going to write a verb and with a prepositional phrase. And we're going to look at the example in just a minute. And then line 4 is the adverbs. That means that you have to look at the verb that you put on line 3, and then you have to describe that verb. So how did they do this thing? Was it quickly? Was it slowly? Was it softly? And then last, write a good sentence about the noun. A good sentence. So let's look at their example. Okay, here's their example. Snow, that's their subject, so that's their one noun. Soft and cold. So this is their 2 adjectives, right? And you combine it with an and, that's fine. Soft and cold. Does that describe snow well? Good. What are some other words that you could have used? Maybe frosty. Cold is good. Okay, now here's where we need the verb and the prepositional phrase. So look at what they did. Falls on the ground. You have to have the verb with the prepositional phrase. Snow, soft and cold, falls on the ground. Now, they looked at that verb and they gave 2 adverbs that described how it falls. How does it fall? Quietly and slowly. Quietly and slowly. You know, another word for falls, a better word might have been drifts to the ground. I like that word, drifts to the ground. And then that word kind of goes with quietly and slowly. A good thing to help with figuring out words that work best is to use a thesaurus. If you don't want to have one at home, you can find one online. Snow, and then here's their final sentence. Snow is a silent mystery. And look, they did not use either of these words before. They used quiet, but they didn't use silent, and they didn't use mystery. So don't repeat yourself on any line. Choose different words. So let's come up with our own example. So I thought for the first one we would do a person. So I chose Ivy from our book that we're reading in Echo. So I want you to think of 2 adjectives that would describe Ivy. Maybe in the way she acts or looks or things that she's done. 2 adjectives. I came up with musical and determined. She is determined to help the Yamamotos and to go to orchestra, even though she might be made fun of, to have the stand for the war bonds. All that is determined, okay? And then what's my verb? What is she doing? She plays for a penny. That's what I put. She plays for a penny. Because that is pointing us back to Fernando, right? Now, how does she play? I put happily and nervously. Because sometimes she's nervous when she plays. She's nervous because she doesn't know what's happening with Fernando, when he's going to come back, if he's going to come back. And then one last sentence. Ivy hopes Fernando returns home. And we could add soon. So what do I have? Ivy. Now I need to go back and make some capital letters here. Ivy, musical and determined, plays for a penny. Happily and nervously, Ivy hopes Fernando returns home soon. Okay, so see how I followed the pattern, but yet I was thinking on my own. I want to see some good thoughts on this. Let's do one more. This is not a person. I chose hamburger. Okay, so hamburger. What are two words that would describe a hamburger? Two adjectives. So I chose greasy and juicy. Greasy and juicy. You could say greasy and hot. Sizzling would be an adjective. Okay. And then what's the verb? Now this is hard because if you're choosing a noun that doesn't do anything, you have to, like the snow was falling, you have to think about what is the hamburger, what could be a verb coming out of the hamburger. So what I did was I put cooks on the grill. So see, there's our prepositional phrase. My verb is cook. So now I have to choose two words that talk about how it cooks, because this is my verb. How does it cook? So I put that it cooked fragrantly. That means it smelled good. And deliciously. Fragrantly and deliciously. And then hamburgers are a good summer food. Okay, and you could probably come up with a better sentence than I did there at the end. So this is exactly the pattern I want you to go for. So I want you to pick a topic, and you can choose Ivy or you can choose hamburger, but you need to change the rest of the poem completely as long as it goes with the same pattern. So remember, you are not making up your own pattern. You are sticking with our pattern within the confines that I give you and making up a beautiful poem on whatever it is that you choose to make up. So you could say coronavirus and give me a poem about coronavirus. You could give me a poem on staying home. That could be your topic. You could give me a poem on summer. I should have done that one. Summer. Okay. Is a good one. What is on your favorite sport, on your favorite person, on your mom, on your dad, okay? So give me a good one, and then that, I want to see your poem below in the comments. Give me the entire poem, not just the topic. So I want to see the whole poem. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, okay? Let me see your poems. I look forward to reading them.